Since 2020, most people have spent the majority of their time in lockdown. So it was inevitable that once the society started to open up again, folks would immediately start thinking about vacations. Sites like Airbnb, which were hit badly during the pandemic, are now starting to see a huge upswing, and that could mean opportunity for you. Whether you have a spare room you want to let out occasionally, a holiday home you don't use all the time, or whether you want to go all in with Airbnb arbitrage, this is the video for you, so make sure you stay until the end. If you are thinking about getting in on the trend and renting out a room, or an entire home, here's what you need to know first. Airbnb lets you generate passive income from your home or spare room. Being an Airbnb host involves listing your property on its platform, which handles bookings and communications with guests. Hosts are paid out based on guest stays. Risks of hosting include renting your place to rude guests, theft or damaged property, complaints from neighbors, and potential regulatory violations depending on your location. So how do you list with Airbnb? Listing is free, and you can individually approve potential guests. In setting your price, you'll want to consider the going rate in your area by looking at competing listings. You'll want to consider the costs of hosting, including cleaning, higher utility bills, taxes, and Airbnb's host fee, which is 3% for payment processing. Your guests pay Airbnb's 6% to 12% booking fees. Make sure you understand Airbnb's hosting standards for listing accuracy, communication with guests, keeping your reservation commitments, cleaning your place for each guest, and providing basic amenities such as soap and toilet paper. In most cities, Airbnb will even send a professional photographer to capture your space for free if you're an active host. When describing your place, think about what makes it unique, and try to consider it from an out-of-town visitor's perspective. Is your place within walking distance of public transit? Is it located near great restaurants, nightlife, or cultural activities? What amenities can you offer? Wireless internet, a fully stocked kitchen, cable television, an outdoor patio. Your listing will be displayed on Airbnb's website, and you can also cross-promote it through social media or your own website. How do I process legalities and taxes? Before listing your place on Airbnb, you might need to get permission. If your property is controlled by a homeowners association or co-op, check its rules to make sure you're allowed to host. If you rent, you'll want to get your landlord's blessing. In addition, your locality might require a business license, and you might owe local taxes on any income you earn. You'll also owe federal taxes on Airbnb income, which will be reported to you and to the IRS on Form 1099. However, you may be able to reduce your taxable Airbnb income by deducting business expenses, such as cleaning fees and insurance. Airbnb also provides guidelines for hosts to make their homes safer. If basic human decency doesn't give you enough incentive to make your place safe for guests, minimizing safety risks to guests minimizes your risk of being sued by a guest who is injured on your property. If you're particularly negligent, Airbnb could refuse to let you continue to host. So how do I get paid? Is it possible for a guest to crash and dash, that is, to stay overnight in your place without paying you? Guests actually pay you through Airbnb. As long as there are no problems, Airbnb will release your payment within 24 hours of your guest's arrival, and you'll receive it within 1 business day, if you choose to get paid via PayPal or via Payoneer prepaid debit card, within a few days for a bank transfer, or within 15 business days for a mailed check. Guests must notify Airbnb within 24 hours of check-in if there's a problem that warrants a refund. If you don't respond to guests who try to contact you about a problem, they might be allowed to complete their reservation and receive a partial refund. Airbnb could require you to refund a guest's payment if you cancel a reservation at the last minute, forget to leave the key, misrepresent your listing, don't clean your home, or otherwise fail to meet Airbnb's hospitality standards. In your listing, make sure you describe your room type, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and amenities accurately. Also, note whether there will be any animals on the property. You could also get burned if you arrange payment with a guest outside of the Airbnb website. A guest might try to do this to avoid paying Airbnb's guest fee or might be planning to rip you off. As a host, you only stand to save 3% by not going through Airbnb's payment system, plus Airbnb could refuse to do further business with you if you get caught. So don't try to circumvent the system. Airbnb suggests making sure you're available within 24 hours of guests' scheduled check-in to address any concerns they might have, since many problems are easily resolved. Can you make good money hosting an Airbnb? As with any sort of side business, success with Airbnb will depend on a number of factors, including the desirability of your property's location, its amenities, condition, and price point. What are the best states to host an Airbnb in the US? According to Airbnb's own data, the following were the top 10 states to host an Airbnb in 2021, based on aggregate income. Note that Airbnb incomes vary drastically within each state from city to city. 1. California. 2. Florida. 3. Texas. 4. New York. 5. Georgia. 6. North Carolina. 7. Tennessee. 8. Arizona. 9. Colorado. 10. Pennsylvania. Which dates are the most profitable for Airbnb hosts? Airbnb data show that these were the highest income generating dates in 2021. Labor Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend. July 4th. Thanksgiving. Fall travel. Summer travel. 7. Christmas. What is Airbnb rental arbitrage? Airbnb rental arbitrage is the practice of renting properties and subletting them on the Airbnb platform. It's becoming more difficult to own property as home prices have far outpaced median incomes since 1960. That's why this strategy allows you to build cash flow without the stress and challenges of home ownership. Imagine you rent an apartment for $2,000 per month. If you sublet that same apartment on Airbnb for the month at $150 per day, you could pay off your rent in just under 2 weeks. Once you've paid off the rent, the rest of the month is pure profit. With the possibility of $2,000 in profit each month in our example, after subtracting potential maintenance and overhead charges, short-term rental arbitrage allows you to grow your income and save without owning property. Of course, that's an oversimplification. There are expenses to running short-term rentals. Seems too good to be true? Airbnb rental arbitrage is a tactic that can work well in some markets. However, there's a lot of due diligence required on your part before jumping in with both feet. Summary: the growing sharing economy offers ways to make extra income that weren't available even a few years ago. Many of these opportunities require you to be comfortable navigating unclear local laws, sharing your most valuable possessions with strangers, and taking on additional legal liability. Airbnb is no exception, but if you're willing to take on the risks, you could make thousands of extra dollars a year. Let me know in the comments section below if you have used Airbnb as a side hustle or if you use it as a full-time income.